In this class we want to look at a simple organization chart and just see how simple organizations can be developed. So we start with the business level, and here we've got a simple block to say business. Underneath we could have the functional level, and the functional level is made up from different expertise and different skills within the workforce that are necessary to enable the business to function. So for example, there may be a research and development department which is necessary to innovate the product and to bring in new products, perhaps related to the existing product but new ones nonetheless, to capture new requirements in the marketplace. And the research and development people may be guided in their efforts by feedback coming from the marketing section. They may also be influenced by manufacturing, because it's the manufacturing side that will tell them what is possible and what is not possible. And they may also be influenced, of course, by finance, who will say the current efforts in developing a new product are too expensive, the business can't afford it, or it's unlikely we will recover the costs, it's too expensive in total. So the functional levels are related, but that's one way of organizing the business, to simply see the business. The business could be seen as the CEO and the senior management, and under them various functions. So we have as set out here. Now let's look at a simple organizational chart. So we've got the corporate level, say multi-business corporation. Underneath we have the functional, so we have, as I said earlier, the various functional forms and various departments. And under that again we could have the business level, so we could have various businesses. This is a multi-business corporation, so we could have various businesses all drawing on the expertise and the facilities of the various functional levels. So having a research and development department is a good idea, but in this case it's a really good idea because there are 3 businesses that are tapping into the research and development department. So the research and development department may be larger, it may have more expertise, there may be better ideas floating around, and it's looking at 3 businesses as opposed to 1. Manufacturing may have some spare capacity because of some machines are not used fully in one of the businesses, but if there are 3 businesses, that slack may be picked up more effectively. So machines may be utilized better by having this structure. And so on for marketing. They're able to use their market expertise for 3 businesses as opposed to 1, which means they have a greater depth of analysis and data and contacts and understanding of market requirements. So for 3 businesses it's better than 1. Same for human resources and for finance. And there may be other functional classifications here that I haven't listed. There may be others depending on the nature of the business. So this organizational chart has at the top, it's a multi-business corporation. It has various functional businesses, and these feed into, in this case, 3 businesses. Now it may be structured differently. Here we've got the corporate level, multi-business corporation, the functional level and the business level, but it could be structured like that. So we have, let's say, 2 businesses, and each of the businesses has their own functional areas. And in fact that's quite commonplace. But you need to contrast the advantages of having the functional areas under each business. So business 1 has got research and development, business 2 has got research and development. Business 1 has human resources and Business 2 has human resources. You need to contrast that with what I was suggesting earlier, that they share each of the functions, and because they're able to share them, there may be greater benefits accruing from that, because the research and development people will have more ideas, there'll be better staff in there, there'll be more staff, there'll be better cross-fertilization of ideas. And with marketing, there'll be greater depth of understanding of the market and of customer requirements. And so you need to contrast that with what we've got here, which is a much more standalone type. Each business has got all of its functional areas, and it makes a profit, and it feeds the profit back to the multi-business corporation at the corporate level. So we have, in this case, we've got two businesses, we might have many businesses. And as I said, this is quite common, but just it may not be the most efficient. The previous one may be more advantageous. It may not, depends. An example of an unrelated product business, and note here, by itself, a strategic business unit can be considered as a related product business. So let's look at this one. Say we have a multi-business corporation, and here we've got strategic business units. Now, these strategic business units may be seen as independent businesses. They're independent businesses that feed back into the multi-business corporation. They are strategic business units that have responsibilities over certain businesses. So if we pursue this diagram just down to the next level, we see here we've got Company 1 for strategic business unit 1. We have Company 1, we've got Company 2, which are called CO2, and Company 3, CO3. So here we've got three businesses, three companies feeding into the strategic business unit 1. Then on strategic business unit 2, we'd have a division, first division, second division, third division. So we may have companies or divisions of a company feeding in to the strategic business unit 2. So what we've got here is the multi-business corporation at the top, then the strategic business unit who is responsible for perhaps several companies underneath. So it's an extra layer. It means that the strategic business unit is looking after three companies, or is looking after three divisions, or whatever it is. And that extra layer means the multi-business corporation does not have to engage in a lot of monitoring, a lot of control. It really sits at the very top, making top-level strategic decisions. Now an SBU, a strategic business unit, it's a single business or a collection of related businesses that is independent and formulates its own strategy. So it's independent, it's not related to strategic business unit 2, it's got its own identity, and it formulates its own strategy. It's looking to formulate its own strategy, which it filters down to the different companies, and the companies themselves will formulate strategies and feed it upwards. And so it's quite an independent structure. It's simply an extra layer that fits in there, that fits in between the multi-business corporation and the companies. And there are examples. For example, in Virgin, there are Virgin Airways and Virgin Trains and Virgin Internet and Virgin Banking and so on. And they really are separate businesses. So they're all strategic business units. They're looking after their own interests. There's very little between Virgin Internet, Virgin Media, and Virgin Trains, Virgin Airways. They share the name, they're branded, but they are strategic business units operating in different markets. So this gives us an idea of organizational charts and how at the top level corporations can be structured. The corporation down to in this case, the strategic business unit down to the business. Or the examples we had earlier, for example, the multi-business corporation going straight to the functional level down to the businesses. That's a possibility. Or the corporation or the corporate level going to businesses who have their own functional levels. That's a possibility. And of course now we've got to the example we're just dealing with now, where we have strategic business units. So this gives us an example of organizational charts for businesses at the top level. This is not looking into how production and accounts and marketing all fit together and how they're linked together. This would be much more, that would be much more internal organization, and that's not the purpose of this class. This class is looking at the big structure, the top tier of strategy, looking at the design of the corporation, of the business, and who controls the functional levels. So that's all we're going to do in this session. So let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.